Welcome to the Las Vegas Trader YouTube channel and a weekly analysis video. Let's get right to it and analyze what has happened this past week and what we might see this coming up week. So let's start with S&P 500. Last week I predicted that we're gonna have a little pullback to the upside and then movement to the downside, but apparently Thursday and Friday were very powerful days that just continued the bullish movement. This is a daily chart. On a weekly chart, same thing. Very powerful green bar. The 50-day moving average held up, and the 20-day moving average is acting as resistance on the weekly, and the daily chart, the 50 is acting as resistance. So we might see a little pullback and possibly continuation, the bullish movement to the upside because of this powerful green bar. We might hit the recent highs. On the NASDAQ, the daily chart, same thing. The 200-day moving average did act as support, and we saw the movement to the upside. And like I said, on the S&P 500, Thursday and Friday were pretty powerful days. So on the weekly chart, same thing as S&P 500, and the 20-day moving average is acting as support. So if we break that, we might hit the recent highs. That's going to be resistance. Dow Jones, start with the daily, just like the previous two indices. Very powerful move to the upside. So same thing as S&P 500 and NASDAQ. The 20-day moving average is acting as resistance, so you might see a little pullback and then continuation of the bullish move. Russell 2000 daily, look at this. I mean, it was, like I said, it was sitting right at support, so it was even more powerful move on Thursday and Friday with these two bars. And on a weekly chart, just like the previous indices, S&P 500, NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones, see a little pullback and then continuation of the bullish move. Let's look at the oil. On the daily chart, as you remember, actually, let me just go to a weekly chart. I mentioned that this red bar was very problematic because it was so big and powerful. So we would have to take it out, take out this bar in order to have a move to the upside. But we moved roughly, let's just say 66% or so, and then we just came back down. So on a daily chart, I liked this green bar I mentioned, I believe 2 weeks ago, but like I said, that red bar on the weekly chart was problematic. So we did move up, but then the movement just went down, and we might see probably 78 and change with the 200-day moving average on a daily chart. And the weekly chart, the 50 is going to be acting as support, so $78. If we break that, the 200-day moving average is $70 or so. Next support. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. Yeah, it broke through the 20-day moving average on a monthly chart, but then immediately the following month we just took it down, and now we're below it. So 73, 72 bucks, 70 bucks is not out of the question, but I predicting bearish move. Gold on the daily chart. Let's take a look at the daily chart first. Like I mentioned, this green bar was very powerful, and the 200 acted as resistance. So I said we're going to see a little pullback and then a movement to the upside. So now we're sitting at the resistance. We did break $2,000, but looks like we're consolidating or just pausing for continuation of the bullish move on a daily chart. This is a weekly chart. Yeah, I like the same thing. We might see a small pullback and then possibly hit the all-time highs on the weekly. And the monthly chart, yeah, that just confirms big powerful green bar off the 20-day moving average, hitting the all-time highs. I like silver, pretty much the same thing as gold. I liked the green bar. I said we're going to see a small pullback and then movement to the upside, but the 200-day moving average is acting as resistance. So we had a hard time breaking through it with these tails. So we're still kind of stuck between the 200 and the 20. But this green bar off of the 20-day moving average, I think we're going to break through it and move to the upside. So this is probably a consolidation, just a pause, and then just another. This is a halfway move from the $21. 25 bucks would be the target. The weekly chart, yeah, same thing. I like the bullish move, so maybe a small pullback and then continuation, hitting the 25 bucks or so. Monthly chart, same thing. We're still above the 50, above the 20-day moving average, and of course the 200. So 25 bucks would be my target. Maybe even 26. That's possible. Okay, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. As you remember, I called for 30,000. We got that and then some. And then actually I believe I called for 40,000 last week. So that's the target for Bitcoin is 40,000. We are above the 20-day moving average, the 200, the 50. So this is all bullish indication. Let's take a look at the monthly. Yeah, the 20 was acting as support with the 50, and we just had a movement to the upside. So 40,000 is definitely on the table. And let's look at the dollar. The dollar looks pretty. The dollar looks pretty bearish. We had this powerful red bar off of the 20-day moving average. Very powerful. So we had a double top. So I thought this green bar would make it a more powerful move to the upside, but we had resistance at 107, 107.30 or so, and then we just moved down. And as you remember, when the dollar moves down, the precious metals usually move up. So that's what we saw in the charts. So this is a daily chart, the weekly. Yeah, as you can see, we just took out these two green bars with the bottoming tails. So on the weekly chart, 104, call it 104 and change. If we break that, the 50-day moving average will be 103.60. And on a monthly, so we are sitting right at 20-day moving average. So if we go down to 104, yeah, 104, I can see that movement to the downside to 104, then possibly reversing because we are in the bullish move here. So just a little pullback. But so that's it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon. Give it a thumbs up and share with anyone and everyone you think might like and benefit from this content. Sorry. See you next video.